First one on the list is the Densho gun. On ships equipped with 3 cannons, this cannon would have a burst damage of around 150,000, which exceeds the burst damage of the main cannons of some battleships in the game. This cannon can literally turn those triple cannon ships into a battleship-level threat, which is pretty cool. It is perfect for players who like to use the peek-and-shoot tactic, since it allows them to inflict a lot of damage without staying exposed for too long. As for the drawbacks of this cannon, it only has one as far as I can tell, and that is its long reload time. This drawback gives the cannon low damage per minute, which isn't ideal if you're the type of player who's aggressive and likes to engage in direct battles. So if you're going to use this cannon and your ship relies heavily on it, you should often play defensively or make use of the peek-and-shoot tactic. Now, if you're looking for a cannon that supports an aggressive playstyle, the second cannon on this list might be the one for you. The second cannon on this list is the AK-130 buckshot. On ships with triple cannons, it would have a burst damage of around 102,000, which is significantly lower than the Densho gun, but still decent, since it's slightly higher than the Monarch, which is another cannon that many consider one of the best in the game. Despite that, a ship with 3 of these cannons could overpower a ship equipped with 3 Densho guns. The reason is its incredibly short reload time. It has a reload time of just under 3 seconds, which is lower compared to most other cannons in the game. With that and its burst damage, the cannon's DPM reaches over 1,900,000, which is the highest among all equipable cannons in Tier 3. To put that into perspective, the buckshot can deal around 300,000 damage points by the time the Densho gun finishes reloading. Of course, such a huge advantage comes with a major drawback, and that drawback is that you can't hit opponents at long range. You need to be at close range to land your shots. Now, if you want a cannon that can hit opponents both close and long range while having high DPM, then perhaps the third cannon on this list might be the one you're looking for. The third cannon on this list is the EMRG Koenig. Like buckshot, it doesn't have a burst damage that is as impressive as the Densho gun. On ships with triple cannons, it would have a burst damage of about 104,000, which is just slightly higher than the buckshot. However, it makes up for that with high damage per minute. Thanks to its 5.25-second reload time and decent burst damage, it outputs a DPM of about 1,075,000. While it may seem underwhelming compared to the buckshot, remember that the buckshot pays for its extreme DPM, with the drawback of being effective only at close range. On top of that, its DPM is still significantly higher than the Densho guns, so it's not something you should underestimate. As for its drawbacks, it has none, at least on performance. If you count how it is obtained, then that would be its only drawback, since it's locked behind gacha, which is a massive paywall, as it basically works like a lottery system where you spend money to take part. If you're looking for a cheaper alternative of this cannon, then let's move on to our fourth cannon on this list. The fourth cannon is the Monarch. Performance-wise, it's very similar to the Koenig. It has good burst damage, high DPM, and no drawbacks. On ships with triple cannons, it would have a burst damage of around 101,000, which is just slightly lower than both buckshot and Koenig, and it has a reload time of 5.95 seconds, giving it a DPM of about 1,022,000, which is even weaker than both buckshot and Koenig. In fact, it ranks 5th among high DPM cannons that can hit targets effectively at long range. However, it's also the easiest high DPM cannon to obtain. The cannons ranked higher than the Monarch in DPM have a general similarity with the Koenig, which is that they are all difficult to obtain. The Monarch doesn't have that issue, since it can simply be purchased from the equipment shop using in-game dollars, so it's essentially the cheaper and weaker version of Koenig. Now, if you want a cannon that's strategically versatile, you might like the last cannon. The last cannon on this list is the L52A1. This cannon is arguably the best one on this list because it offers high burst damage and high DPM. It has a burst damage of around 141,000 and a reload time of 7.70 seconds, giving it a DPM of about 1,009,000, and that's of course from ships with triple cannons. While it may not be as strong as the other high DPM cannons, its output is still pretty good, since it's significantly higher than the Densho gun. Also, its burst damage is the closest to the Densho gun, which helps balance out the gap in DPM. With these traits, you can adapt depending on the battle situation. If the situation requires you to be aggressive, the cannon can support you with its high DPM. On the other hand, if the situation calls for a defensive approach or a peek-and-shoot tactic, its strong burst damage will help you pull it off. Due to that, I personally think it's the best cannon in the game. As for its drawbacks, this one also has none, not even in obtaining it, since this, along with the Den Shogun, which I should have mentioned earlier, can be purchased in the Artstorm market. While items and ships in that market are a bit harder to acquire than those in the equipment shop, it's still not as bad as gacha. Please keep in mind that these cannons are simply based on my findings. There might be details about a cannon I've missed, or even one I forgot to consider, but I believe these are the best ones in the game. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'd love to hear all your thoughts on it. Now that'll be it for today's video. Hopefully you guys found it helpful, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe to support me. Thank you so much for watching.